This is a short video for Tenney MountainOffice. I'm going to quickly log in, and we continue to the site. And as each user logs in, this is where they come to, and it sort of gives them an outline of what's ahead of them. They have their due schedules, their assigned works, and their my tasks. And over here we have an internal emailing system within the system for users. If we click on the drop-down menu, these are the areas that we have. The staff area, which we're in right now, the operating logbook, MountainOffice Mobile, operating data, assigned works, and depot. I'm going to start off with MountainOffice Mobile. This is the backbone of the system. And what this is on the left side is the structure of the ski area. So in this situation, this would say Tenney Mountain, and we double click on that and it opens up, and you can create folders for each area or department of the ski area. I'm going to open up Mountain Operations, and here are the typical mountain operations departments that we find in the ski area. I'm going to open up lift maintenance, and I'm going to share with you a little bit more detail here. So this goes back. This enables us to add a folder here, and this is a search button. And here we have a menu that gives us some just standard operating procedures to rename it. Either as a folder or an object. An object is something that cannot be divided. A folder can have subfolders, and it can have objects within a folder. You can copy or duplicate, you can cut, delete, set as an entry point. So in this situation, if I'm a lift mechanic, I would have it set to lift maintenance, and I would automatically bring me to this point. And I can establish data nodes, which are, I can create a system, and I can name it, and I can put a number with it, I can put a cost center with it, and it enables you to do things down the road. So let's open, and you can see here I've got a material export, which is something that I did specifically for one client, so it's not really appropriate, but I've got spare parts, a staff, and tools. So under staff, I can have all of my individuals that work in that department, and I can keep records for them. And the reason we also do this is so that we can include them in the work. They can put their name in the work orders when they're working. Tools, there's the list of tools that relate to the department, and then spare parts are, I can list, it doesn't show you here, but I will go into that under depot, which was up here down the road. So let's open this up quickly, and we'll pick a lift. These are all the lifts that exist on Lincoln Peak, and I'm going to go to Gatehouse, and you'll notice up here that we have a number of boxes or buckets, I call them. So we have 6 documents that relate to Gatehouse, and I have schedules, which are schedules that are either in process or waiting to be done. I have archives, which are all my completed schedules or work orders. Documents I mentioned. Basic data is if I wanted to record some data relative to the Gatehouse. I could do that, and I can open this up, and I would have a whole list. I should have one here, so let me just see something. No, double click this. So here you can see I've got all the data relative to that lift. I've got the drive, the tensioning, the direction, the whole list of details that are in here. It's for the lift. So I'm going to go back and take a quick look at the documents you can see. Here's a manual, and it's going to go back to your computer and pull up that information. So this is the manual that's there, and you can have all 700 and some odd pages that are in the manual, 733 to be exact. So again, that's something you can carry with you, and you can add documents as you want, and you can add them for each folder as you go forward. I'm going to quickly click this and go to, we broke this down into lift components and towers, And in the lift components, I've got brakes, bull wheels, carriers, drive machinery. Again, these are what you want. You want to add one, you just add one. I'm going to go to bull wheels and break that down. And we've got a drive bull wheel. And we've got one schedule. So this is the annual maintenance on this bull wheel. Inspect general. You can see here that there is a header, which is category is maintenance. It's been assigned to this person, and start date and the finish date and the interval. This is and how much time it should take, and this is the estimated cost. And there's only one thing, it's just an inspection, but it has to be done every year. A person can add their name from a database, so I can pick out a person and add that person. That person can also add their, if they're added, they can click on their name and put their amount of time they worked. I can also add material, and that comes from a spare parts database. And here you can see the different parts that I could use. These are recently used parts. And I can add a remark, and I can also add a document, which could be a picture, could be a scan of using your phone or your tablet of something you sketched out. And I can add a signature, so I just go in and sign it. So that's the essence of a work order. You can make them as simple as you want, like this one was, or you can make them very complex, which I'll show you one of those. And that's a gearbox. And if I go to this work order, you can see that I've got multiple steps with definite notes and instructions. And each work order has what we call a value record. Each task, I should say, has a value record that can be put in it, which can be a data point. In this case, it's just a remark, which would be a text that could be put in. But if I wanted to take a reading on something, let's say get amps on a battery, a voltage on a system, I can record all that, gearbox temperature, and whatnot. So, and to create a work order, I go up here, create a schedule. Schedule and work order are synonymous. And I have a category, which is very important, and I have a list of categories built into the system. And this enables me to sort the work orders out. If I go back in time, if I want to look at all my gearboxes for all my lists, and the work order has the header in it, and each work order has, as I said, the header, and you can add an activity, and here you can either delete the activity, you can edit the activity if you want it on an already built work order, but you can have a very detailed work order or a very simple work order. And they all can have, you can add documents. You can see here I included instructions about safety notes, the tools required, and these are some glove requirements and safety glass requirements that we've taken and inserted into work orders where appropriate. So there's quite a bit of flexibility you can do on a work order. So that's basically, as I say, the backbone of the system. The other strong feature of the system is the operating logbook. So these are logbooks that I have set up for different purposes. This one here is for a lift operator. This one's for mechanical. I'll quickly show you that. And you've got here, you start the lift. This is not dependent on somebody, a reoccurring work order, where a work order has to be completed to generate the next one, which is in MountainOffice Mobile. This is a logbook that is governed by the calendar. So if I start the operating day, I hit OK, and it starts the day. So now you can see it's 10/6/2023, and I've got these options within this logbook: pre-operational, operational, post-operational, weekly work, and monthly work. Excuse me. You can see I've got little red icons here with an exclamation point in them. That's because I haven't finished the day before, or the previous one. But I'm going to just open this up, and again, you see the same symbol here. shows that I'm 3 days overdue. But these are all the checks that have to be done on a daily basis before we run the lift. And we can put a remark in, we save it, we can click a button, say, yes, I looked at it, and we go through any number of steps. And again, this you build yourself. The tool is here to be able to do that. You can also have operational during the day of the operation, what's supposed to be done, post-operational, at close down, your weekly work, what has to be done on a weekly basis, as well as a monthly basis during operations. And then you get a list of summarized remarks, observations, special occurrences, and then it has to be signed off at the end of the day. So, very good tool, can be used by the mechanics during the operation of the ski season. It's not what we say preventative maintenance, and these are all the inspections that are required by typically our ANSI code and by the state inspectors or insurance inspectors. And you can see here that this is a highlight showing a lot of information about this. These are special orders that we've done, we've added to. Tells us the total operating days, the days not in operation, days with insufficient information, uncompleted days, not yet confirmed by the manager, and we can show the calendar. And we also can set the time frame. Excuse me. Dashboard preview gives us, again, highlights that tells us where it's going on, and we can set the range that would tell us the cover what time. This is a 2-day range. Operating data counter, and you can look at your value records, and you get a little graph of what the temperatures were, and different things that are reported through the course. And these are set up by you. When you set up the system, it records them and say, what do you want to get? So good tool, enables you to track trends and see things that you'd have to shuffle through paper to get to in a current system. And you have the same type of thing for your lift ops. It shows you you've got a variety of things here. You've got the driving operation, which is whether it's you've got an interruption at the operating speed. You've got the weather. You can record the weather, both the top and the bottom terminal. You can track your staff as between who's working at the top and who's working at the bottom and when they switch. You've got the pre-ops before you open, things that they have to do, things that they have to do during the day, and then the post-op, how they close up the lift. And again, all that's, you get any summary of activity, and then you have to complete the day. A very good tool for managing lift operations, basically eliminating all the paper. And you can actually look at this during the day to see how people are doing and what's going on with it. And you can also create this type of document, say, for pre-shift of a groomer. If I'm going to go out and I'm going to, I put in the weather, my pre-operational check before I go out on the hill with my groomer, and I've got all that information. Some people actually have a post-shift logbook so that the mechanics can pick it up and look at the machine before it goes back out on the hill. So the logbooks are really great. And in the administration area down here, we build, these are the systems that we have and what we've built. We have templates that we can build, and we can create those and then assign them to different pieces of equipment that are consistent. And we also can, if I wanted to look at something, this should say a checklist. If I go here, I can edit it, delete it, and I can easily add an activity. I put in the description. If I put in here list, it goes to next, and I can say, is this a headline, or is this, do I need a value record? Do I want to put in a data counter? Do I want to put in a yes or no, which means yes or no? And do I want to require a signature for this activity? I can put that in. A data counter is an hour meter or an odometer or that type of thing that actually tracks actual use of a piece of equipment. So this is the operating logbooks. And to jump back up here, I've covered both of these. The operating data are counters that you can say an hour meter, as I said, or an odometer, a flow meter, any device that is tracking, how long something's used. And the reason we track that is that you can set a work order to be triggered by either time or how much use it's gone through. Assigned work is if somebody has to go outside of Wi-Fi or data service on their device. We can download a work orders to the device, and then record all the information we need to do out in the field, and then come back and upload it to the system. And under Depot, we have spare parts list, which was built into the system. And if I wanted to go, and I could scan the barcodes, or I can just pick a part and put it in. Okay, use this part. And so these are different parts. And what this is, it's not a full-blown inventory system, but it enables you to know how many parts you're using during the course of the season. And you get a general sense of what you should keep on hand. And it also helps you significantly with your spring order for lift parts and for service parts for your groomers. So that's the quick overview of MountainOffice, and it's a really great product. And I think it would work well at Tenney. I would suggest you use the light version because I think you qualify for a light, and you could use, a light version is $46.75 per month per user. I would say at Tenney you probably need 2 users, so it would be about $1,100 a year. And you get all of this capability and enables you to do a lot of things. So thanks for listening, and that's it.